الله 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 ما لنا مولى سوى الله.
Now we come to an interesting point, which is regarding Nahr al-Furat, Euphrates River. And regarding Euphrates River, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam foretold that the Euphrates River will go dry. And this sign will happen before Al-Imam al-Mahdi. Before Al-Imam al-Mahdi, this is one of the signs. Now, Al-Isha'a li-Ishrati Sa'a of Al-Barzanji, he mentions the signs which will happen before Al-Imam al-Mahdi radiyallahu anhu. And from amongst those signs, and these are the signs which we need to analyze today, because these signs will happen before his appearance. It states, فَمِنْهَا أَنَّهُ يَنْشَقُّ الْفُرَاتُ فَيَنْحَسِرُ عَنْ جَبَلٍ مِّنْ ذَهَبٍ. From amongst those signs is that the Euphrates River will uncover a mountain of gold. And the hadith relating to that is عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يوشك الفرات أن يحسر عن كنز من ذهب فمن حضره فلا يأخذ منه شيئا, which means that it will be that the Euphrates River shall uncover a treasure of gold. Whoever is there, let him not take anything. This particular hadith is in the Sahih of Imam Muslim, which states the hour will not be established until the Euphrates uncovers a mountain of gold. People will kill one another over it. From every 199 people will be killed. Each man from amongst them will say, perhaps I will be the one saved. Some people have tried saying that this refers to oil. This is the Euphrates River. What will happen is the level of the water will recede, go down until a mountain or a treasure of gold will appear. So on the authority, this is showing the hadith will disclose the treasure, a mountain of gold, so whoever will be present at that time should not take anything of it. The Euphrates, will uncover a mountain of gold under it, a treasure that will be found. So this is gold panning in Iraq. People are looking for gold now in Iraq, in the modern age. So they're taking gold out. They are finding bits of gold now. This is the sides of the Euphrates River drying. When this will be uncovered, gold will appear, literally. As you can see, he mentions, this man talks about the gold. He talks about the gold as if it is something good. Then you have this video showing that the Euphrates is drying currently. This video. This is showing us today that the Euphrates has started to dry. He's talking about the agriculture, that they have no water left for agriculture, as you can see in the Euphrates region, and the water is drying up. He's talking about 5 years ago that the water started drying up. Now if you remember, we also covered the hadith that mentions in Kufa the water will start drying up. So this is the sign of the end of times. So all these areas need water to cultivate the land. Okay, that's sufficient. Okay, now what some people have tried saying is that what's meant by this hadith is oil. And because oil will be traded in for gold, or should be traded in for gold, and they mentioned Malik Faisal, that Malik Faisal traded in Saudi oil, or we will say oil of Jaziratul Arab, in exchange for US dollars, when in reality the oil was worth gold. And they give this interpretation. So this is written by me. I wrote, some researchers have suggested that the gold referred to in the narration is a metaphor for the oil reserves in the Middle East. They have based their observation on the terming oil as black gold and the many wars that have taken place over oil fields in modern history. The following are some points for one to reflect upon reading this narration. First point, the oil fields do not exist within the depths of the Euphrates. You don't find oil fields in the Euphrates River. And neither has the Euphrates uncovered oil fields. Every war that has transpired has not occurred over oil fields in the Euphrates. Now remember, the hadith states, from every 100, 99 will die. That type of war has not taken place. In terms of linguistics, adopting a metaphorical meaning within the Arabic language is impermissible when there is no apparent allusion towards that meaning. The term black gold was coined many years after the prophecy. So they say gold means black gold, therefore that is what is meant. But the fact is that you don't find oil near the Euphrates River, and neither is the term black gold used for actual for oil in the time of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The prophecy specifies the Euphrates, yet in neighboring Arab nations there is more oil than there is in the vicinity of the Euphrates. Another point, there is a clear prohibition in the narration for the believer to partake of this gold. If oil was intended by this narration, it would be prohibited for people to take from it. Even when this gold shall be uncovered, 99 of every 100 who attempt to claim a portion of this gold will die. No such turmoil has taken place to date over any portion of the Euphrates River. Evidently, the sanctions on Iraq and other Arab nations have been prophesied elsewhere. I mentioned that the sanctions, the hadith and the sanctions we have covered, they have been mentioned elsewhere, that the food and the currency will not get into Iraq. So for someone to say this refers to the sanctions on Iraq, it cannot be, because the sanctions have been mentioned elsewhere. As well as the pillaging, plunder and colonization of those lands. But the prophecy regarding the Euphrates is an event yet to transpire. Point F. There are other prophetic traditions which categorically mention the discovery of oil and other precious minerals with no allusion toward the gold of the Euphrates and the ensuing bloodshed. In past times, people discovered oil reserves, but never has there been an event as the one described in the hadith of the Euphrates River, meaning this event hasn't taken place yet. Abdullah bin Amr radiallahu anhuma reports, now this hadith is in the Mustadrak of Imam al-Hakim, many precious minerals will be discovered. A precious mineral will be found near the Hijaz, and I wrote in the Western Arabian Peninsula. The most vile of people will come to it. It will be called Far'un. The name of this oil will be Far'un. Now this term Far'un is a term used by some of the dialects of that region for that oil, as you find in the dictionaries. While extracting the mineral, they will uncover gold. So the ma'adin, or the precious metals, or the precious minerals that are being discovered, they will be different to gold. They will then be intrigued as to the extent of the gold. In this state, they will sink into the ground along with the gold. So this is showing you that oil will be discovered in those regions. In another hadith narrated by Imam Ahmad and Abu Ya'la in his Musnad, minerals will be discovered, and the most evil of creatures, shirarul khalq, will go to them. And we have witnessed ourselves that oil, the monopoly of oil in our age is by shirarul khalq. Firstly, American oil companies, OPEC and others. American oil companies have a monopoly over Muslim minerals. And these are the worst of creatures. And then those Muslims who have given them that gold. And this is the last point on this. The uncovering of a mountain of gold does not necessitate that the entire river will dry. Rather, water levels in a specific region will recede, uncovering a mountain of gold. Our master Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reports from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the fourth tribulation. This hadith is in this book. In this book, Nu'aym bin Hammad's book, Al-Fitan. It states, the fourth tribulation will last 18 years. Then it will depart whenever it goes away. By then the Euphrates will have uncovered a mountain of gold. So there will be a fitna, a tribulation for 18 years, where war will ensue in that region. After 18 years, the river will dry. A whole nation will be inclined towards it. And from every 9, 7 will be killed. Ka'ab radiallahu anhu reports there will be a huge gathering of people at the Euphrates in the Syrian region, or just after it. So the region between Syria and Iraq. The people will kill over wealth. From every 9, 7 people will be killed. This will happen after terrible destruction. So firstly, terrible wars will take place for many years until this sign is fulfilled.